I think regardless of what you're going through. Finding ways to do that via Zoom, finding ways to do that, you can walk down the street and wave at your neighbors. You can chalk your sidewalk. You can put nice signs in your windows. You can, I don't know. I think there are a number of ways to do it. Again, I think they're a bit different than we might be used to. But for now, if it's what we got, I think we really kind of have to lean into it, because I think, again, now more than ever, reach out and be connected, take care of yourself, and take care of the people around you as best you can. And eventually, I think, we can hug and we can shake hands, we can do all that stuff again, hopefully at some point in the near future.
Well, Alex, thank you so much for telling us about what you do as a licensed mental health therapist and soon to be a teletherapist. And before we head over to Otis's Notices, I want to turn back the clock a little bit and remember that young Alex who was really convinced he was going to be an archaeologist or a paleontologist and got lost on one block for an hour looking at butterflies. And imagine the kids who are living today who are like you might have been, or just, any kids. You talked about, breaking intergenerational cycles. I wonder if you could say, if you have any words of wisdom or any advice or just some thoughts for kids like that.
Yeah. I had been thinking about this question for a while. I think I would say, in a nutshell, and I know it's cliche, but do what you like. Again, I understand not every passion may come with a similar career or paycheck. But looking back, I think I've learned that what I had thought when I was younger, when I was growing up, would be the kind of things that, like, hey, once you do this, you'll be happy and successful and like you've made it. And life does not work or look like that. I think we're constantly growing and evolving, or at the very least sort of faced with things that sort of push or challenge us to do that. Lean into those things, get comfortable being uncomfortable. Life can take a lot of different turns. Do what you like. Be you as best you can, and know that understanding what that is and who you are takes a lifetime. The future that you may have set out for yourself when you're young may not be what it looks like when you're older, and that's totally fine. That's okay.
Oh, that's so comforting. Well, inspiring words from an inspiring person. Thank you, Alex. Before we sign off, we're gonna take a quick interlude over to the Otis's Notices section of our interviews.
Cheers.
Cheers. We are so lucky to be joined by Otis himself today with the promise of treats. So, as we always do for Otis's Notices, we like to give our esteemed speaker some time to tell us about some cool opportunities that we might not know about, or plug anything fun that they saw on the internet that they like. I'm going to introduce this topic in every interview. I want it to become a thing. I'm using the term coronaviral to mean something that became viral during this pandemic that would not otherwise have necessarily either happened or become so popular.
Very interesting.
I don't know if you have any coronavirals that leap to mind for you.
But I saw this somewhere and really appreciated this. When everything has been turned on its head, I think we often find ourselves sort of turning to and taking comfort in the arts in many different capacities. So don't discount the arts and artists, and please support them as best you can. Because I know personally I've been leaning into a lot of different music and visual art and media and stuff like that. That's definitely helped time pass.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Segues perfectly to my plug, which is to check out the interview with Katie Loffmiller. Katie Avila Loffmiller is a guest on this show on When I Grew Up. Katie is herself a practicing artist. She's actually a social practice artist. So if you want to know what that is, you should head over and watch the video.
Very cool.
And my coronaviral, I actually don't have one picked out that reminds me of you. Sometimes I see things in the news that remind me of certain people, but actually that's a lie. I did have one. The coronaviral I saw that reminded me of you was, it must be kind of all over the place, but specifically in our town, we've been seeing all of the kids and families who are sort of really struggling with not being able to go to school and not having any kind of structured childcare and not being allowed to, visit their friends or anything. There's been a sort of an outpouring of social support for them. So we've been seeing kids putting rainbows in their windows, and there was actually a city call to do this so that kids could have a scavenger hunt on their family walks and try to find rainbows in all the windows on their street. And then now in our neighborhood, we've started seeing a lot of kids posting thank you in rainbows as sort of a response to the rainbow posts. So there's been a lot of window sharing that I think is a very positive thing for all of our mental health.
It's a very cool way to stay busy and connected.
Yeah. And another funny coronaviral that has nothing to do with mental health is apparently in Thailand, there's a strong economy of leaving food out as a daily an offering for deities, and there are entire populations of monkeys that depend on that for their main food source. And since no one's going out and leaving offerings, they're starving. And because they're also desperate for food, there are monkey gangs forming, and they are waging basically turf wars against each other in the streets to protect food sources. So it's wild. It's a wild time to be alive. Of all the things that I predicted about coronavirus, monkey wars.
Yeah.
Not on the list.
Yeah. When you deprive someone of essential resources, it's interesting to see what they turn to survive. Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's your coronaviral for today.
Not bad.
Alex, do you have any? I don't know of any, hotlines or anything for people who are having mental health struggles related to corona or not. But if you have any to share, we can link them in the comments, or if you know any offhand.
Those are national resources. I might refer people to, like Sam says, national helpline, like Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration. That number is 1-800-622-HELP. So 1-800-622-4357. Other good ones, I think, are the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-7233. Again, this is, I think it might be good to sort of be home and kind of call our home environment safe. Not everybody is in the same boat. So I think having resources handy for those who are at home and not in the best of situations would be helpful.
Feel free to find Alex. Can I give you your social media information?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Okay, so I'll share all of that in the comments, and that's all we got for you folks. So thank you, Alex, for being an inspiring person, doing inspiring work in an uninspiring time.
Thank you so much for having me. This was a real treat.
Yay! All right. So until next time, viewers, this is some grown-ups signing off.